All right, let's answer a few questions from the live stream, shall we? Let's take a look. Teacher, if someone has the 12 numeric combination, does that mean they will die or lose money? This is exactly the kind of misunderstanding we can easily have about numbers. I often tell everyone that numbers are pieces of information that appear in our lives, and the information for each individual life is completely different. We need to understand that in this world, there is no set of numbers that is inherently unlucky, nor a set that is completely lucky, where just having those numbers will make you rich. If anyone tells you that, they are definitely deceiving you. I have studied numbers phenomena for 15 years. Numbers phenomena are a form of information in our lives. Everyone must remember this, especially for students who have taken my courses. You must keep in mind that there is no set of numbers in this world that will cause you to die unexpectedly or lose everything you own. First, let's explain this number combination 12. Why is it associated with the meaning of financial loss? This is part of our course content. Let me explain it to everyone. We need to understand what kind of life characteristics individuals with the 12 number combination possess, what kind of thinking patterns they have, what behaviors they exhibit, and how they respond when facing any choices in life. So, what kind of state is it? First of all, the 12 number combination is relatively impulsive in nature. It has a rather impulsive characteristic. So for friends who have this combination, you'll notice that they're actually a lot like children, very much like kids. They're straightforward and direct in what they do. People like this have a big advantage. They won't beat around the bush when working with you. If they like you, they'll say it directly. If they like you, they just like you. If they don't, they won't pretend otherwise. So with people like this, you'll often find that they don't beat around the bush when doing things. They won't scheme behind your back, and whatever they're thinking is written all over their face and shown in their actions. So in this kind of situation, as our teacher often says, people with the numbers 12 actually have many advantages. They are very hardworking and diligent. In this day and age, especially among young people, being willing to endure hardship, to work hard, to give it your all, and to make sacrifices is extremely valuable. But people like that are actually becoming fewer and fewer, really fewer and fewer. However, those with the number combination 12 have this kind of fighting spirit. They never seem to get tired, like a little sun that never stops shining, always running non-stop every day. I once had a student, well, at the time she wasn't my student yet, who came for a consultation, and I said to her, your stamina exhaustion and your outputs are especially heavy. Every day you're busy inside and out, always doing things, running around everywhere, working really hard, but at the same time you actually enjoy it. Back then, she told me, teacher, I just can't sit still. If you make me take a break, I can't stand it. I feel like all my energy has nowhere to go. I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel really anxious. I really can't take it. Oh, whenever I have free time, I'd rather go out for a drink with friends or get together with them. Other than when I'm sleeping, all my other time is spent on the move, always doing something. This is one of the personality traits of people with the 12 number combination. So people with the 12 number combination tend to be relatively impulsive. When it comes to doing things, they tend to be relatively impulsive. So let's think about it. When someone has this kind of impulsive trait, if your family member or friend has this number combination, if they face an investment failure, remember it's not the number combination itself that's affecting them. It's not that just because someone has the 12 combination, they'll lose money or suddenly die. It's not like that. Rather, it's about their behavior. They act quickly and impulsively. So when they're faced with various choices in life, let's say, for example, making an investment decision. When a sudden windfall of wealth comes his way, he tends to trust his friends. He's very loyal and values friendship deeply. He firmly believes that his friends would never deceive him. So when a friend tells him, hey, there's an investment opportunity, it has the potential to multiply dozens of times over, and you could make your money back in just 2 months. The friend describes it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, saying, you can't let this chance slip by. If you miss it, it won't come again. If you hesitate, the opportunity to make money will be gone. So, for someone like this, impulsive and easily trusting of friends, believing that their friends would never lie to them, what do they often do? They invest, of course. They go ahead and put their money in. At worst, they'll just lose some money. At the same time, people like this tend to act impulsively. How much do they invest? 100,000 yuan. If I invest 100,000, how much can I make? I can triple it. Triple 100,000 is 300,000, right? So what if I invest 300,000 right away? Then I'll make 900,000. And if I invest 500,000, I'll get back 1.5 million. The more I invest, the more I earn, right? Sometimes that's exactly how they think. Their ideas involve a lot of risk, and they're prone to chasing these kinds of high stimulation, high risk investments. This is why people with a 12 number combination are prone to investment failures. When they do things, they often don't think through the consequences in detail, and they tend to act impulsively and spend lavishly when making decisions. So before they know it, the money is gone. What happens after you cast your bet? If you lose, you still want to win, and you won't admit defeat, so you keep casting. So for people with a type 2 personality, we say they tend to be stubborn or get stuck, and this is also the reason because their competitive spirit is extremely strong. They can't stand to lose. Losing is not an option for them. But this inability to accept defeat, as their teacher says, isn't entirely a negative trait. Because with people who have a 12 number combination, you'll notice that no matter how old they are, even when they're already 60 or 70 years old, when faced with such high risk opportunities, they will still take a gamble, still give it their all. This is why people with a 12 number combination tend to encounter more risks in life than others. Because when they truly face risk, they can't control themselves. They can't manage their wealth proactively, nor can they control their own actions. So everyone shouldn't believe things like, if you have a 12 number combination, you'll die unexpectedly. Or with this combination, you're doomed, or you'll lose all your money. We need to reflect on our own actions. We need to think it over. We need to reflect on what we've done and consider why our own behavior leads to these kinds of outcomes. Rumors will always be dispelled by wisdom. When you can look at numbers, phenomena in our lives with a rational perspective and scientific methods, you won't fall victim to such things. You won't be deceived or misled by these things. Let's look at another issue.